but I'll look into it once again, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, so we are live now. Gauri, you take it up.
Greetings to our dear audience and our esteemed panelists who are connected with us here today. Hope that you all are safe and sound at your homes and taking the necessary precautions amidst this pandemic. I am Gauri Vadera from Fair Gaze, your host for the day. We are glad to tell you that we are now live on our Facebook page. So do share this link with your family and friends so they can also get some insights from our experienced speakers and learn more from the discussion on mental health today and be a part of the closing ceremony of Fair Gaze's successful mental campaign carried out from 13th September till 15th of October. Fair Gaze, along with India is Us, initiated hashtag One Day for Mental Health Drive, coinciding with the World Mental Health Day observed on 10th October every year. This campaign aimed to fulfill Sustainable Development Goal 3, that is, good health and well-being, through the World Mental Health Day campaign by sharing awareness messages from mental health experts, psychologists, parents, and students. As a part of the campaign, we introduced hashtag It Is Okay, hashtag Be Kind to Your Mind, and hashtag One Day for Mental Health, in continuation of the existing hashtag chain of hashtag One Day for Future. So going further, we would like to thank our partners, Kidzania, Niyogi Books, and Transcendental Meditation. We would also like to thank Mrs. Anita Sharma, Dr. Madhumati Singh, Ms. Neeta Bhalla Saini, Dr. Bhavna Chadha, Dr. Matthew Varghese, Dr. Raghini Kaul, Mrs. Tazeen Rahman for their support throughout. Today, through this discussion, we'll be bringing into light more of some perspectives by renowned educationists and professionals who are well acquainted with the idea and will present their views. So having said the same, we'll be moving on to the introduction of our panelists. We are delighted to have Dr. Madhumati Singh here with us today, who is a child psychologist and is also the director of Fair Gaze. Ma'am will be the moderator of today's session. I heartily welcome you, ma'am. We are glad to have Ms. Tazeen Rahman with us. Ma'am is an NLP specialist and a cancer warrior. Pleased to have you with us, ma'am. We are happy to have the presence of Dr. Bhavna Chadha. Ma'am is neuroclinical psychologist. Honored to have you with us, ma'am. I extend a warm welcome to Ms. Anita Sharma, ma'am. Ma'am is the principal of SD Public School. Happy to have you here with us today, ma'am. We are glad to have Dr. Raghini Kaul with us. Ma'am is the principal of Maxford School. Pleased to have you with us, ma'am. We're delighted to have Ms. Aditi Srivastav Bahadur here with us today, who's a senior teacher of Transcendental Meditation. I heartily welcome you, ma'am. I am sure that today we all are looking forward to hearing from the wonderful speakers we are in the presence of today. So before that, I would like to invite Dr. Tazeen Rahman to say a few words. Please, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Gauri. It's a wonderful the way you have conducted it. Such a young age, you have done it beautifully. First of all, congratulations to you, Gauri. And now I would like to congratulate Fair Gaze and India is Us for deciding to address this topic, which has got immense importance, mental health. And it has been observed that during this pandemic, it has become all the more important to address mental health issues and to work on it. It is absolutely normal to feel low at times, or as it is said, that it is absolutely okay not to be okay, right? But the thing is that whenever you feel that you are feeling low, you just should not dwell upon it. That is where the problem starts. Once you realize that you are feeling low, you have to find out ways to come out of it. And how do you come out of it? Doing things that you enjoy doing. It could be as simple as listening to good music or dancing to your favorite numbers. Or at times, meditation also helps a lot. Or, if things get a little out of hand, you can always go to a therapist or a life coach. It helps. If I talk about myself, as Gauri has correctly said that I'm a cancer warrior, I'm now fighting cancer. So there have been times when I felt low. So, my easiest way is to listening to good music or dancing to my favorite numbers. But there were times when I felt that I needed some help. So I have a life coach too. So it is how you handle upon it. My point just is you just have to be aware of how you are feeling up here. And whenever you notice it that something is going wrong, you just need to work upon it, right? You just be aware, and it will be, I'm very, very sure that it will be very, very easy to lead a healthy mental life then, right? So, Gauri, over to you now.
Rightly said, ma'am, that we need to be mindful of the problems we are having, and of course, we'll be able to solve them. Thank you so much for enlightening us with your words. With this, I would like to invite Dr. Madhumati Singh to take over the session from here onwards and proceed with the discussion.
Good job,
Over
Gauri.
to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Gauri. Good evening to all of you, the wonderful, vibrant panelists that we have here at Fairgaze. And of course, Fairgaze being a platform where the child is the center. And who else than, having Gauri as our host today. And that's what Fairgaze offers. We offer students, youngsters, school-going kids to come up and join the Fairgaze brigade as a journalist. You can be a freelance writer, you can be a host, and Gauri has taken it beautifully. So moving forward, it looks like closing of the ceremony, but as Dr. Rahman said beautifully well, that mental health is something which is ongoing, and we celebrate it in a special way, especially at Fairgaze. Ensuring that there is more and more awareness within our society, within our own homes, within our own selves. And like we said, mental health begins from us. And here today, we have certain questions. We have certain queries based on our research at Fairgaze, a lot of inputs that we get on different platforms at Fairgaze. So we have compiled a set of questions for the wonderful panelists out here. And so without much ado, I would like to first call upon Dr. Rahman, who is an NLP specialist, as you all would be knowing. And the question for you, Dr. Rahman, is what would you like to say for our education system, as nowadays schools focus only on theoretical things and not on practical concepts through which the students can get the burden of studies, get off the burden of studies, which affects our mental health. Over to you, Dr. Rahman.
Thank you, Dr. Madhumita. Thank you so much. And the question that you have asked is very, very relevant at today's time. I strongly feel that the education system obviously plays a very important role in the mental health of our students. The education system, especially in our country, evaluates all the students on a same parameter. In this regard, I recall a story. There was a competition held between an elephant, a monkey, a fish, a deer, and an eagle. They were all made to stand in a line in front of a tree and were told that one has to sit on the top of the tree first. The one who sits on the top of the tree first will be declared the winner. This is exactly what is happening in our education system now. As all the animals have unique capabilities, and how can we judge their capabilities in one single parameter? This exactly is causing a lot of stress among the staff. We are judging, we are evaluating the students on a single parameter, which I think is a very, very unfair thing to do. Moreover, I have observed that the schools only promote those students who are good at studies. I believe that every child is gifted. We have to find out what the child is good at, and we have to encourage him or her on that. Rather than criticizing the students, we have to motivate them to do good, in whatever area they are doing. I remember one incident that I was teaching the first year students of BBA, and there was this girl, I had asked a question to, and she had answered the question correctly. So I appreciated her because she had answered it correctly. She, later came to my cabin and she told me that this was the first time ever in her life that a teacher has appreciated her. And she had tears in her eyes. And after that, the girl was so motivated to do good in her studies, and she came out to be one of the brightest students. This is what is, I believe, is lacking. We should appreciate our students rather than only criticizing them. A student can be good at anything. We just have to motivate them, right? And our education system at present is totally theoretical in nature. We hardly give any importance to the practical aspect. I just believe that you learn the best by doing. I think all of you have seen the movie Three Idiots. The school that is shown towards the end of the movie, that is something I dream of, that all the school becomes like that and all the kids learn practically. Learning would be so much of fun then. Why I am very, very passionate about this topic is I am myself a victim of this education system. The environment where I was brought up had a lot of peer pressure to excel in studies. The result was that I had a nervous breakdown before my class 9th final exams. And I had developed a phobia for exams. And it went to such an extent that I had to take actually treatment to overcome that problem. So I very well understand the pressure that the students go through to excel in studies, right? So one of the top most priority in life has to be the mental health, a healthy mental health. I strongly believe that getting good marks in theoretical exams has nothing to do with being successful in life. Theoretical knowledge actually doesn't help one. It is the skill-based knowledge which actually becomes helpful in life. So I believe that the schools should work towards developing a holistic well-being of the students. Students' mental health should be the top priority and should be a major concern for the school. And I think this aspect is lacking in most of the schools, right? As I said that this topic is very close to my heart and I can go on and on, but I think I have already exceeded my time limit. So over to you, Dr. Madhumita.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a very, very vibrant and again, a very, very positive response. And I was visualizing while Dr. Rahman was talking about how mental health is important. I was visualizing that let our PTMs be something like this. Across the table, the parent is sitting and the teacher is sitting. Both of them know. And of course, if the kid is also sitting, all three of them know what marks the kid has got. So can the opening statement, Dr. Rahman, can be, what is your kid good at? Isn't that going to be a complete paradigm shift where the parent is also looking, oh, it's not the end of the world. Okay, my kid is good at drawing or my kid is good at, games. And the whole shift, I think, perhaps is exactly what you're talking about. Finding out the strengths of the child. And that's a responsibility of the parent, the family community, not just the parents, the family community and the school community. Very well put. And that's why we are all focusing on how to bring about good mental health. So, continuing our evening today, we have the next speaker, Dr. Bhavna Chadha. She's a neuroclinical psychologist. And of course, there would be a lot of information and a lot of input we'd be getting from her. So Dr. Bhavna Chadha, the question is for you. The question is, mental health has become a serious issue to every individual's health. especially on students' health, who are the future of our country. So how can we tackle and handle that? Over to you, Dr. Bhavna.
Thank you so much, Dr. Madhumati. I think I would like to start by thanking Fairgaze and all of you to having me on the panel here. While I was just thinking about this entire event and understanding the relevance of mental health, there were three things that kept reiterating and vibrating back into my head, particularly in the context of children, because in the last 1.5 to 2 years, I think it's sad to see that the graph has really grown up when we look at children and young adolescent and young youth falling onto a lot of mental health issues. And if I summarize myself into three important pointers, one, I think it's high time we really need to somewhere change the conversation from, rather than making failure a part of life, we need to make it our life. It has to be a very normal zone of our life. 90% of problems that I see which come up in adolescence and pre-adolescence and post-adolescence and even youth is because we were told that we are supposed to be the best. Now, the idea is a lot of parents walking in, I do have those kind of clients saying that, mere bacha introvert hai, there is a problem. Can you help? And I'm still wondering, 25 years in the trade and not a single book where I have read that introversion is a disease. It's a trait, it's a quantum. We may be skewed to one side and yes, we try and achieve the balance, the homeostasis of it. But from where have we got it that failure is something which is which we should be scared of, and failure is not something that we should be going in the direction of. So a lot of problem, be it jealousy, be it arrogance, be it fight, be it ego, a lot of it is coming from a young child who's taught at nursery, first achhe bacche first aate hain. Sare achhe bacche first aate hain. I think the idea is about maza aaya, competition mein, khelne mein maza aaya, पढ़ने में मजा आया. I long जब mothers बच्चों को उतारती हैं स्कूल से, बस से, they should say, rather than asking marks मिले, कितने मिले, वरुण के कितने आए, I wonder they start asking मजा आया आज, did you have fun, did you laugh, कुछ अच्छा किया. The second important thing is, I think हमारे बच्चों को अकेला रहना नहीं आता, and I would like to quote Sadhguru here that we all are scared of being alone because we are so we need to learn to be alone so that we are not lonely. Our kids are so scared to be alone. We are so scared to leave them alone. But a time with self is very important. हमारे बच्चे उस अपने स्वयं समय के साथ बड़े नहीं हो रहे हैं. चाहे वो मेडिटेशन में है, चाहे वो किताब में है. मुझे आज भी सर्दियों की वो शाम याद आती है, रात याद आती है, जहाँ पे परिवार साथ रहता था, लेकिन हर शख्स वो कर रहा है जिसको वो पसंद है. कोई पढ़ रहा है, कोई न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ रहा है, कोई म्यूजिक सुन रहा है. सो वो खामोशी, वो अकेलापन, वो अपने साथ समय बहुत जरूरी है. और क्योंकि वो इतना ज्यादा लोनली होने से घबराते हैं, क्योंकि उनको अलोन होने की आदत नहीं है, कि then they try and fill it up with parties, with music, with noise, with unnecessary friends and unnecessary activity which is not around. So a strong recommendation, learn the art of doing nothing. I think Corona has really taught us that it's not about doing everything all the time, it's about doing nothing also. And summarizing, the last part that I would like to say is treating and learn and teaching our children to respond rather than react. सुनो, समझो, जानो. मैं अक्सर स्टूडेंट्स को कहती हूँ, जैसे एक पुरानी पिक्चर में दिलीप कुमार ने बोला था अनिल कपूर को कि दुश्मन को जानो, देखो, समझो, बूझो और फिर वार करो. आई थिंक दैट इज एग्जैक्टली व्हाट वी नीड टू डू. हमारे बच्चों को सिचुएशन को समझ के रिस्पॉन्ड करना आना चाहिए. हमारे बच्चे रिएक्ट करते हैं, चाहे वो क्लास में आंसर देना हो, चाहे वो घर में जवाब देना हो, चाहे वो फोन पे जवाब देना हो. और इसीलिए आई थिंक वी आर ट्रीटिंग फोमोज मोर देन एनी अदर एंजाइटी. कुछ मिस आउट ना हो जाए, कुछ गुम ना जाए हमारे से, कुछ खो ना जाए. सो आई थिंक अगर हम डीकॉम्प्लिकेट करते हैं, लेट्स गो बैक टू द बेसिक्स अगेन. I think we are going to give a lot to our children and help them becoming mentally healthy. Thank you.
Great, great. Absolutely wonderfully put, Dr. Bhavna, in a very, very holistic way. How you began, and I was again going back, we are visualizing a lot of stuff, and that's maybe the time that we need to alter certain things. Like you said, maza aaya. सो मजा आया हम पूछते हैं बच्चों को, कब पूछते हैं? वो जब स्कूल शुरू होता है, जब केजी, नर्सरी केजी में, मजा आया, कैसा रहा, मजा किया. Why do we forget that question? And like Bhavna said, let's go back. How we were and how our kid was when they had begun school. So when the kid is responding to कैसा रहा तुम्हारा दिन, वो उसमें इनवेरिएबली आपको ही पता चल जाएगा कि उसमें ये चीज कमी रह गई, ये चीज में बहुत मजा आया. So that makes also the child feel more optimistic, and the parent also is able to guide the kid better. A very important point Dr. Bhavna brought up. I think it's a very good, maybe it's the, the upcoming, we'll be having a workshop on parenting. And that's exactly the topic what is on my mind is one of the biggest responsibility of a parent is to inculcate independence in child. Independence does not just mean the ability to take, it's from the thought level, mood level and behavior level. It's just not doing a activity. Independence create करना, जैसे इन्होंने बोला कि अपने आप के companion बनेंगे तो आप lonely कभी नहीं होंगे. Beautifully well put. All of that is part of mental health. And here at Fairgaze this evening, we are trying to give in a little input to all our viewers out there, parents, kids, teachers, grandparents who are watching, so that let's try and make our country, our own children, mentally healthy. Let's continue. We go on to the next question. And this question is for Ms. Anita Sharma. She is the principal of SD Public School. So yes, the question, Mrs. Anita Sharma, is for you. Do you think that the government should take any type of initiative to reduce the burden of studies for the benefit of the students' health? Mrs. Anita?
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Madhumita and Piyush, for inviting me to this forum. I congratulate that you have taken this initiative to celebrate the World Mental Health Day and then to basically sensitize the youth. They have become more aware. And they are taking they're taking part in the campaign conducted by you with full enthusiasm. Now, as far as the government initiatives are considered, of course, the government should take why the studies should be burdened. My first question is this, that why studies are always taken as burden and why we put the performance pressure on the kids. And rather than on government, the responsibility lies on the parents because they are always interested in knowing the marks of the students. So I, in fact, welcome the step taken by the government in the new education policy, that they are saying that now instead of giving the report card for the marks, the report card will be a 360-degree holistic assessment of the child, and it will be talking about all the strength and the capabilities and the qualities of the child. And that is very, very important because you know why the children come under pressure. When they know that there is a gap between their innate potentials, innate capabilities, and the expectations which is there by the teachers and the parents from them. So when there is a gap between the two, there is always a situation of mental conflict, and they are not able to decide what to do and how to do. And in that dilemma, they come under lots of stress and anxiety. So we shall always try to take steps where the child can be given an opportunity to express himself, to explore himself, and to nurture himself in those qualities which he is inheriting by nature. So if this kind of freedom can be given in the school, if this could be made a part of the school culture, I think that most of the mental health problems will be resolved. And parents should be made a very, very important stakeholder in this process, because unless until the mindset of the parents is changed, any initiative by the government or by the school is not going to work. So all the three has to work in tandem. And I really appreciate the government steps at various levels. Like the program started in the form of Mano Darpan, where they are giving the platform to the children and to the counselors. They can talk to each other, they can interact, and various other initiatives, and the initiatives taken in the school systems also, in the education system also. So lots of things are happening, and I am very, very hopeful that we are going to hear good things in the future.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Anita. Yes, of course. Yes. And we wanted to hear from you, words of optimism in terms of, the government schools, or the government, or what we say is education department. Are we looking at more sensitization, more of a holistic kind of assessment of the child? And yes, periodically, time and again, we are having changes in the curriculum, in the assessment mode, and we are talking of happy schools, happy curriculum, the overall assessment of the child. And that's exactly what we were talking about right in the beginning of our evening today. It's high time that parents, teachers, we make a shift by focusing on what the kid is good at. For example, it's very important, in the report card itself, is the child attending school regularly, first of all? Is the child taking part in co-curricular activities? Is the child initiating volunteering work? Is the child having team spirit? Is the child having certain creative skills about him or her? Those are the certain parameters which are so important, more important perhaps than just getting marks. So Mrs. Anita has put it beautifully for us. And yes, we have hope. And we continue to, our endeavor is to make the future, the present and the future, better and better for our kids. So our next speaker is Dr. Ragini Kaul. She is the principal of Maxford School. So the question is for Dr. Ragini Kaul. Do you think that the school education system is also reducing with added pressure? Is it reducing, any kind of pressure that the kid is having? With the added pressure that student has to go for outdoor coaching that increases the burden on them, further bringing about a lot of mental health issues.
Thank you so much, Team Fair Gaze, and all my fellow travelers here for having me on. And good evening, my dear parents, teachers, and students. Wonderful forum to be discussing the issues, the burning issues, that's impacting the society at large, be it children or the adults. And I think school will play a vital role in reducing the pressures, because these are the foundation years. This is where a child develops various skills, develops a personality, and to forge ahead. And once the child leaves the portals of the school, a lot depends on what the school has kind of inculcated in the children. But when we talk of, coaching centers and all, I think these are debatable issues, and we need a separate day for those discussions. And without sounding rude, I think if I refer to my time also, 30 years down the line, there were no coaching centers, and we still excelled, we still did well. But when we talk of reducing the pressure, yes, as Anita ma'am also rightly said, it all depends on all the stakeholders. No school alone can work on it. No family commitments can work on it unless and until they are in tandem with each other, And sorry to say, but most of the pressure in the present generation oozes out from the family pressure, because year after year we see when parents come to us in 11th, for example, there's so much rush for, कि मैम कुछ नहीं, इस टाइम बीमार था, इस टाइम ऐसा था, तो परसेंटेज नहीं लाया, otherwise the child is quite bright, please give him this stream, please give him that stream. I do not understand why is there a rush for the stream allocation. Look at the positivities, the attitude, the aptitude of the children, of the individual children, and the responsibility lies on the school, the parents at large, to understand what is good for the child. And of course, the main stakeholder is the child himself or herself. Let the child discuss or decide the course of the future studies that he or she wants to take, So it generates normally, the pressure generates normally from home, the extended family, the peers, of course, and of course, let's not forget the high expectations laid down or marked or identified by the students themselves. There's so much rush, whether we like it or not, there's so much rush to make it quick these days on the present generation that they find out via medias which impacts their health, mental, physical, emotional, everything. Psychologically as well, they are impacted because they are in a hurry to make it big overnight, which doesn't happen. So we as a school and we as parents have to ensure that children do not rush that mad race, to let success come to them overnight. We need to equip them with a thought process where they understand that, it's an ongoing learning, they have to learn it every day. They have to be a lifelong learner. This is what we have to teach them, that it doesn't end. You may acquire your qualifications at what particular point of time, but education is an ongoing thing. You'll have to take it on right from your school to your college to your universities to your professional arenas as well. And I think the question of coaching centers not existing will happen only when the current breed of parents instill that kind of a faith in the schools and the school systems. It happened earlier also. There were no coaching centers. We still did well on the basis of the inputs given to us by our school. And that's how we forged ahead and did well in life. So where is the pressure coming from? I think the school, the family, the peer, the society has to revamp itself and be the change that they are looking forward to. I think that sums it up. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Dr. Ragini. You've again put it beautifully that the whole center point is getting displaced. We are all getting in a rut, just like we have, our own kids. A particular kid is going to a coaching class. Oh, your kid is not going to a coaching class? Oh, my kid should also go to a coaching class. It looks like it's the norm. Now, as you also said it very nicely, and somewhere, being a psychologist myself and in practice for 30 years into clinical psychology, have done a lot of school counseling. One of the important things which kind of comes out so clearly is, who are these kids who need coaching? So majority of them, we all know the bell-shaped curve. We are looking at the averages. Most students are average, barring out, like we said, the gifted children, very few, 5%, less than that. And the children who need assistance, specially abled, who may be having certain learning difficulties or intellectual difficulties, as we call them. So barring out that, we are looking at the majority of us actually don't need it, for a simple reason that what really goes wrong is that most of the times the kid who needs coaching happens to be the one who's lagging behind, who has landed up piling up work, who's landed up not telling in the beginning. Step one, ma'am, I've not understood. Can I come in the lunch break and get this sorted with you, please? We don't. There is this, I'll do it tomorrow, or there's the fear of not being able to reach out to the teachers, or it's just a sense of, I'll get it done tomorrow, procrastination. So yes, I was also looking at where does coaching institutes really happen? Is for competitive exams. I would say later on, civil services, it could be. Even there, if you look at toppers, they'd say we've never been to a coaching institute. Yeah, we have never been there. And, for the medical and the non-medical. So high time, like Dr. Ragini says, we need to revamp. We need to rejig our system within ourselves first, to give the confidence to the kid that we'll figure out what is best for you, what you are good at. So that's very well put. And we would continue our talk. So our next speaker is Mrs. Aditi Srivastav. She's a senior teacher of Transcendental Meditation. We call it TM, it's easier, it's such a tongue twister, TM is best. Yes, Mrs. Aditi. Yes, Mrs. Aditi, the question is for you. Would you like to give any suggestions for students, teachers, and parents on prioritizing their mental health issues? Would you like to give them certain pointers?
Thank you, Dr. Singh, for the question. And yes, I think it is very important, definitely a priority, equally for everyone, parents, teachers, and students, because, we are talking about students here, but, when the parents and teachers they are the ones usually the students are surrounded with. If they are mentally healthy, if they would radiate that, and that would automatically reach the students. So it is definitely a priority also for the teachers and parents, because the teachers also are in a situation of a lot of responsibility, dealing with students, so many issues. They could also get mentally stressed. And it is equally important for the teachers, parents to be anchored within self, to be mentally healthy. And talking of students, so usually as parents or as teachers, we want our students to do well. We want them to be want them to be excellent, want them to be all-rounders. And it is possible they can achieve all of this, and they can achieve more than that as well, because there's a huge potential that everyone has. But one important thing is that the foundation has to be solid. One has to be anchored within. One has to be mentally healthy to be able to rise up. If I quote from one of the lectures of Maharishi Mahesh Yogi Ji, who's also the founder of Transcendental Meditation, he said that, trying to achieve a lot of things without taking care of the self is like trying to make a multi-story building without a foundation, So that's why mental health is very important, because it is the basis of not only our physical health, but also all our achievements and all that we can do. In fact, the word, if you talk about the meaning of the word health in Sanskrit, it is swasth. Swa, it is made from two words, swa and sthit. So being established in self is what actually health means. So it automatically includes mental health. Only, it is often ignored because it is not something tangible, something we're not able to see. Like if we have a cut or, we break a bone, we attend to it immediately, but inside, we fail to understand, or we fail to recognize, or we just don't realize that it is something which also needs attention. And sometimes out of, just out of social stigma or lack of awareness, we don't want to talk about it. But now that we understand the importance, I think the schools and parents, everyone understands the importance of it. And that is why there are so many changes that we see, like schools have counselors, the new education policy talks about mental health. So the awareness is coming. Now, having realized that, having understood that it is important, what are the solutions? How do we achieve it? Like Dr. Rahman mentioned, and some of the other panelists also talked about some solutions, like talking to someone, or if you feel that it's a lot, considering proper clinical help, like visiting a psychiatrist or a psychologist, or changing in the ways the education works, less of burden on the students and recognizing the qualities. All of these are good solutions. And since Dr. Rahman mentioned meditation, and myself being in this field, I would like to talk about the importance of meditation, how meditation can be a real good tool in terms of mental health. And if I talk about TM or Transcendental Meditation, it really disassociates any myths about the word meditation. Because as soon as we hear the word meditation, what comes to our mind is, someone giving up work, giving up society, sitting in a corner and meditating for hours. कोई जैसे ऐसे आता है मन में कि अच्छा सोसाइटी से अलग होके कोई ध्यान लगा के बैठना पड़ेगा. Or general tendency is, oh, I can't even sit for a while. How can I concentrate and how can I focus to meditate? So TM has nothing to do with concentration, nothing to do with focus. So it's a very easy, very natural technique of meditation. And that is the reason that successfully many educational institutes across the world have adopted it. And, in fact, teachers and students meditate within the school curriculum also. And, it's a very easy technique, very scientific in nature, nothing to do with religion, nothing to do with our lifestyle or our backgrounds. And the way TM works is it takes us beyond. We are always occupied with this mental noise, always something in the mind going about. And there's always stress about something. We are either stressed about our work, our deadlines, or, something or the other. And like, we have accepted stress, mental stress, to be a part and parcel of our daily life. What TM does, it helps us get rid of that stress. It helps us be more connected to ourselves. It takes us beyond that mental noise. And that is why the word transcendental meditation, transcend means, going beyond. And in a very systematic manner, that is what happens in transcendental meditation, going beyond that mental noise, being more connected to ourselves, being more connected to our inner self, which is actually the basis, being established in ourselves, being connected in ourselves. That is the basis of all our achievements in the outside. So I would say that, yes, the suggestion would be to recognize that mental health is important, and then take steps towards, permanent solution to not only managing stress, which is a major factor, but to get rid of stress.
Wonderfully well put. I think in a very, very, TM way, that's her specialty, Mrs. Aditi, who put it so well, that meditation does not mean the kind of myths we are carrying about meditation. Just focusing on ourselves, the three stakeholders, the student in the center, the parent and the child. We are not there to superimpose ourselves or be answerable to the other person. There is a tendency to possess. The parents say it's my responsibility to make the kid the way the kid is. It's a myth. It's a myth. Let's look at the individual. So the child in herself or himself has to look at certain things. And like, I think we've come a full circle in today's conversation, because this is exactly where Dr. Rahman had started talking about. Take help, de-stress yourself, read good books, listen to music. Very important part is be disciplined, just respect the time. If you respect time and you stipulate a particular time, a person who is effective with time is generally less stressed out, because within that stipulated time, they're able to do things together. So we've come a full circle by saying that mental health is actually talking about self. If the self is happy, and how to make it happy and happier is to seek help if required. If you're having difficulties, talk to your parents, talk to your teachers, take professional help. And this is exactly what Aditi talked about. We are wrapping up this round before we get on to the awards and rewards. We would like to have a quick one line by all our panelists, one by one. Your, like we say, the core. What is the, हम कहते हैं ना, वो जो एक मोती दान आप करेंगे, वो मोती दान ज्ञान हमारे लिए क्या है? Over to you, Dr. Rahman, and then it'll be Dr. Bhavna, and it'll be then Mrs. Anita, and I will quickly we'll get on to it. Dr. Rahman, yes, your Moti Dan.
Thank you so much. And first of all, congratulations. I mean, all the panelists were superb. It was amazing to listen to each and everyone. So what I would like to summarize is that, three stakeholders that we are talking about: the parents, the students, and the teacher. I would like to quote, I'd like to mention one of the incidents which I have faced. Actually, I have been in the academy for the last almost 15 years now. So there was this child who was not doing at all well in his exams. He was failing in a few semesters. I just spoke to him one day and came to know that he wanted to be a musician. He wanted to be a part of a rock band. So one day his mom came, and she was like very stressed out that, how would he cope up with his studies with so much of, semester backs. I told her that he wants to pursue music. Why are you not supporting him? Please support him in this. Once they started supporting him, he started doing good in his studies also, because he had that, mentally he was at peace, because he was pursuing what he actually wanted to do. And right now he is working, as well as he's a part of a rock band, and he's doing so well in life. So when the three stakeholders come together, then obviously wonders obviously will start happening.
Beautiful, beautiful. Three stakeholders come together, put your energies in one center, is what Dr. Rahman has given her pearl over to us. Dr. Bhavna, your pearl of wisdom, please. Dr. Bhavna?
Dr. Bhavna, yeah.
Sorry, I could not, I did not unmute myself. So something that keeps vibrating in my head constantly is when I look at adults and even particularly children, adolescent, pre-adolescent youth is, let's change the definition to from the pursuit to success. I think let's go back to pursuit to happiness. Let's go and strive just and try and be happy for no reasons. I think every day getting up alive is one of the biggest happiness that all of us can really get today. And a very, very strong message to every student out there that be yourself and find yourself. I think you are that one unique person in that 7 billion crowd. And I don't know about you, but that gives me immense happiness to figure out that there's nobody else in that 7 billion who's like me. So the unicality of yourself is something which is the biggest achievement that you're born with. Whatever you achieve after that is an addition to that achievement. So you're just being here in itself is an achievement. Enjoy that and be in pursuit of happiness. And I think that's what I'm looking at.
Wonderful. Be in pursuit of happiness. Happiness being the pearl. Like I believe in, like we say, I have no other choice but being happy. Yeah. Such a good thing, So yes, a pearl of wisdom by Dr. Bhavna is you don't have a choice but by being happy, just being happy. So Mrs. Anita Sharma, yes, your pearl of wisdom, please.
So my suggestion for everybody would be that first be aware of yourself. Don't ignore yourself, love yourself, respect yourself, and don't get carried away by others' opinion about you. And develop a good hobby, which should be your best companion. And it will always help you to overcome all troubles or turbulence of the life.
Wonderful. I hope you've all heard it. This is all a concise form of the way life should be ahead. Make yourself happy, keep a hobby, keep a few hobbies, keep yourself the center, not what others expect out of you. Be your own boss and have your own objective assessment of yourself. We have the good and not so good in us. Wonderfully well put, Mrs. Anita. Yes, Dr. Ragini Kaul.
Your one-liner, yes. Again. Yeah, all I want each one of us to know is that life is simple. Let's not complicate it. Because what brews in the families and in the schools is ultimately what filters down to our children. So let's keep the environment happy, and happiness will be all around us. Because this reminds me of a small anecdote where, a young worried mother on a heavily rainy day goes to the school to get her 4-year-old back home, and on the way it's lightning, and every time there's a lightning the child looks up and the mother is worried for the child. She says, well, why are you smiling? Says, Mom, every time I look up, God is clicking my picture. So we have to remember that children are innocent. They will be what we will put into them. So let's be careful of our behavior, of ourselves, in order to see the children the way we want them to be. Thank you.
Excellent. Very nice. Dr. Ragini says, let the child be alive in the child and let the child be alive in us. So sometimes the child becomes a guiding light. And I think that's very important. Keeping life simple is what Dr. Ragini Kaul is talking about. Mrs. Aditi Srivastava, yes, your pearl of wisdom, one line.
So my suggestion would be to find time to connect with yourself so that you are able to rise up more and more, make a solid foundation by connecting to the self, and find a way to not get used to stress. Don't accept stress as a part and parcel of your life. Find a way to remove it. So that would be best.
Excellent. Find a way to remove stress. Like we say, this too shall pass. Of course, there is the other part of the line is this too shall pass, even if it is like a kidney stone. This too shall pass. Of course, don't take it so morbidly. Great. What a nice advice. So panelists, we continue. I hope everybody has benefited. I would now like to pass on the evening to Miss Alisha Vijoy. She's head India is us. Over to you, Alisha.
Good evening, everyone. And thank you, Dr. Madhumita, for introducing me. And thank you, Fairgaze, for selecting India as us as one of their associate partner. We are really glad to work on several SDG campaigns and especially on Mental Health Day, because where Fairgaze is trying to set up an example that mental health is not a challenge, you can come out of it. India is Us is already working with many NGOs who are supporting such kids who are special kids, and they are really doing good in their life. They have just come ahead of their challenges. The festive season is coming, they are making diyas and several other things to sell out. So mental challenge is not the limit for them. They have accepted that yes, they are having some challenges, but that is not the end of their life. So that is what is very inspiring, and I thought of putting those NGOs credit to here, sharing with you all. And let me tell you one more thing. I know Dr. Tazin personally, and when she was saying that we should not be giving up to any mental challenges, we should be mentally strong and fight it back. So I just want to tell you something, that she is not fighting cancer. In fact, cancer is fighting to survive in her body. Just because not she is physically strong, but she is really mentally strong, and I can definitely vouch on it. So see, this is the difference. When you are mentally strong, you can fight anything. I mean, no trouble in your life, or maybe in your family, in your classes, in your subject, in your career, anywhere. So mental challenges is everywhere. आप कोई छोटा काम करो, आप कोई बड़ा काम करो, if you are mentally strong, then only you will be able to succeed. Don't think that there is a limitation if I'm going to do something out of the world. If I'm I was not head of India Is Us few years back. I was just one of the employees in one of the company. But then I was having a vision that yes, I have to be mentally strong, and I have to reach to some position where I wanted to call myself as a head of some good initiative. And see, today I'm here because I was mentally strong, and at the same time I was doing my part. So to all the students and teachers who are and obviously parents who are hearing us today, I have learned a lot from this session, because everyone has not given any vague examples. They have just related it with their real-time examples, and then they have just tried to tell you. And it is just not one session where everyone is here and sharing their thoughts. It is a life-changing session for anyone. It is that no one can change your life. You have to do it yourself, and for that you have to be mentally strong. So thank you so much for that. Today I would also like to take one I just want to use the stage, and I want to talk about more initiatives of India Is Us. We are working on 12 different causes, and we are having several people who are working on mental health. And I really would request each one of you to come ahead and join us in our Wonderful Future initiative. Just donate your time, your money, or your skill to help our NGOs, who is helping lots of other kids who are definitely in need. Some are in need of becoming mental strong. Some are in need of having some good time with anyone, where they can laugh, where they can learn so many things. So because I can see that everyone here is associated with some of the other reputed schools or organizations, I would really like to request you all to please come ahead and support our NGOs in the best possible way as per your convenience. Thank you so much.
Yes, I think we are now going to the, like we said, the grand finale, and like we say, the best is for the last. We always leave the best for the last. Over to you, Gauri, to continue with our evening.
Thank you so much, Madhumati ma'am. So winning and losing is a part of life. Both of them go hand in hand. If winning makes you strong, losing makes you stronger in life. Fairgaze has always believed that learning comes first, then winning or losing. We would again thank our partners Kidzania, Niyogi Books, and Transcendental Meditation for their support. And now, moving on to our results, I believe the viewers must be really excited. So I would like to invite Dr. Tazeen Rahman to announce the top 5 winners. Please, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Gauri. Thank you so much. So the top 5 winners are Parth Arora from BLS World School. Then we have Sayan Mehti from Neelpit Ramakrishna Vidya Bhavan. Then we have Shreyanshvi Singh from Elcon International School. Then we have Pratyaksh Kumar from Elcon International School. And then we have Vridha Swen from SD Public School, Pritampura, Delhi. A huge congratulations to each and every winner. And obviously, as Gauri said, that winning or losing is a part of the journey. I think all the participants must have enjoyed the journey, and that is more important, right? Thank you so much, Gauri. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tazeen ma'am. Now, I would request Mrs. Anita Sharma to announce the consolation winners. Please, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you, Gauri. So the 10 consolation prize winners are, first is Hanshika Gupta SD Public School, then Lipika Huria Amar Jyoti Saraswati International School, Sanvi H. Oza Amar Jyoti Saraswati International School, Kamakshi Jayaprakash Baliga Children's Academy Malad, Aditi Jayaprakash Balija Children's Academy Malad. Malad, I think, is in Bombay. Mihir Madhok SD Public School, Arab Narula SD Public School, Avya Vashisht SD Public School, Sarthak Mehta Amarjyoti Saraswati International School, Harsh SD Public School. So I congratulate all the winners and above all the participants who took initiative to participate in this venture.
Thank you so much, Anita ma'am. Now moving
Thank you,
on to
Gauri.
the top 5 schools, I would like to invite Dr. Ragini Kaul to announce their names. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Gauri. In the next category of the top 5 schools, we have SD Public School, Pritampura. At second position, we have Apex Public School, Delhi. Then we have Sir Venkateshwara International School, Dwarka. Geeta Ratan Jindal Public School, Amar Jyoti Saraswati International School, Gujarat. Congratulations to all the schools, their principals, and the entire team of teachers and students.
Thank you so much, Ragini ma'am. It's
Thank you.
not the end, but the beginning. The campaign might have ended officially, but we assure you that Fairgaze, along with all our supporting partners, will continue to initiate more such campaigns for improving mental health. We would like to thank all the school teachers and students for their active participation and also for contributing in this campaign. We would like to thank all the parents who encouraged their kids to participate in the campaign and do something for a good cause. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all our dear viewers. We hope that the people who joined us today would have a lot to take away from today's session and would have gained a fresh perspective of the topic. This, dear viewers, leads us to the end of our closing ceremony organized by Fairgaze. And before signing off, we would again like to thank all our virtual audience for their beautiful participation. Stay connected with Fairgaze with such engagements concerning the school ecosystem. You can get the updates through the website at www.fairgaze.com or through our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Thank you so much, everyone. Hope you have a great day ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.